Yahoo, everybody! This is Gotta Love Breath. I have now decided that I am no longer doing my stupid little fanboy commentaries since I really don't give a crap, and plus, I don't know, I started listening to them just the other day and I was like, this sounds very unnaturalistic and very, in other words, I just don't like doing them, so I'm going to skip out on that whole concept. And rather than commentating on every single episode of Toradora that I see, I'm going to do a first impressions video of like every anime or every video game that I play. And then later on, I'm going to end up doing a full review later. Because what ends up happening is that my first impressions are oftentimes completely different from my final impressions. So we'll see how that goes, really. But I've decided to scrap the whole fanboy commentary thing, which I was really just doing to fill up video time anyways, because I'm like, oh, I just watched an episode of Toradora. I should talk about it for like 2 or 3 minutes. But it ends up getting very repetitious, and I'll do a fanboy commentary for like the very first part of an anime that I watch, and then I'll probably just leave it out to the side until I finish it. But Toradora has been just as awesome as it was before, from what I've been watching so thus far. And I really love the characters, including Ami-chan, whom I probably mispronounced, just like I mispronounce everything. But she is so utterly... I love her. I love that character, honestly. I would marry that character. She is wonderfully bipolar. She's almost like schizophrenic because she has her fake side, which is the really cute girl. And then she's got the real side, which is really more of this really mean, scathing bitch, which is really awesome. And I just love the contrast. And at the end of this last episode I watched, she realized that I need to discover my true self. I need to just let it out there. And she beats the crap out of the stalker that had been following her. And I was like, yeah, that's the way to do it, Ami-chan. Beat the crap out of him. Yeah, smash his camera. Woo! And yeah, that's why I sound like when I get excited. My voice gets all high and I start cheering. Let's go, Ami-chan. Let's go. Beat up your stalker. Beat the tar out of him. Woo! And from what I've seen from certain clips, I haven't seen this series so far, Minoren gets a nosebleed from something. So I can't wait to see what that's about. Which is probably not a big deal, but still, I saw a clip just today and I was like, whoa, her nose is bleeding. What the hell is going on? Because as you know, in Japanese culture, a nosebleed technically means you're thinking perverse thoughts. So I was sitting there going, okay, Minoren's got a nosebleed. This probably means she's thinking something kinky or something. And of course, anime characters thinking of perverted things is always hilarious. So I can't wait to see what the source of that wonderful little spurt of blood was all about. It's a Japanese culture thing. Apparently nosebleeds are associated to perversion, which doesn't make very much sense, but just don't even think about it. It's a cultural thing. I don't understand how exactly that works, how exactly your nose bleeds when it doesn't happen in real life in Japanese culture. So where the heck did it come from anyways? If anybody knows why the nosebleed is associated to perversion, just like send me a comment or something, because I'm really curious. It's a really hilarious gag, but I don't understand it at all. It makes so much very little sense. And I've got a huge anime playlist on my profile that's set to private that nobody can listen to. I think I should actually set this to public. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Let me see. Add to playlist. Share this playlist. No, I don't want to share it. I just want to make it public. How do I do that? Okay. Anyways, that's not important. I've got a ton of music playlists. And I'm beginning to think that maybe people should take a look at these because I want people to know what kind of music I listen to. Melancholy, ending dance, the beautiful music, the classical music, the Oingo Boingo, the South Park Christmas songs, which are the only Christmas songs ever worth listening to, by the way. This Christmas, my entire family actually just listened to South Park Christmas songs, like all through Christmas. It was bloody amazing. We're the only family that would ever do that. We listened to Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh, and a bunch of other wonderful songs like Merry Frickin' Christmas, which is obviously the actual title is Merry Beeping Christmas, but I can't say that because this is a family channel and families are listening to this, and I don't want little kids to say the F word. Although nosebleeds about perversion is okay, F words, no, absolutely not. That's completely out of line on my social standards of the Gotta Love Breath. And Gotta Love Breath has really strong social standards. That's why he saves the little sisters in BioShock rather than harvests them. Because if he were to harvest little sisters, that would just make him a very, very sad panda. Although I'm going to do that in the next playthrough because that sounds totally badass. Just like grabbing a little sister and like sucking the life out of him. That'd be bloody sweet. But I'm currently also in the midst of fan fiction writing. So I'm having a little less time to do with YouTube. And I probably should be getting to doing my research on my research essay, which I all of a sudden switched topics on because I realized that my original topic didn't make any freaking sense. So now I'm doing my research topic on net neutrality, which is going to be difficult, right? But it should be fun. And then I've got to come up with another topic for another research paper and a ton of other stuff. And I've got a test on Tuesday. And oh, goo, I hate school. Actually, no, I love school. I love school so much. It's just that sometimes it gets in the way of fan fiction writing. And I love fan fiction writing. And actually, it doesn't get in the way so much of writing than it does get in the way of watching Toradora or rewatching shows I should be rewatching. Like I've been meaning to rewatch The Melancholy of Haruhi for a really long time now, but I haven't exactly gotten around to it. I usually end up watching the very first episode, which is the episode 0, laughing my ass off and then turning it off, because that episode's just so amazingly hilarious. I've talked to so many people who hate that episode. They're like, oh, I really like Haruhi, but I hate that shaky cam episode. And I'm like, I love the heck out of it. It's like, it's so bad. Okay, for one thing, I used to shoot movies like that with my friend just like a few years ago, back when I was Haruhi's age. And that was the freaking bomb, doing that kind of stuff. It was hilarious. We did a spoof of Saw, which is like horrible. In that same sort of fashion, Haruhi shot the Adventures of Mikuru-chan, or whatever she called it, with the min mi mirakoran mikarando mi mirakoran. That's like one of my favorite freaking moments in that entire series. In fact, I was really disappointed when I realized that, oh, you mean the entire series isn't going to be like this? Like the first episode, I was like, oh, this is going to be all done like Cloverfield style or Blair Witch, where it's all going to be shaky cam and it's all going to be these really, really bad home movies. Oh, this sounds awesome. But no, of course not. It ended up being something far, far more awesome. But still, I would have really liked to have seen like all the episodes done through video camera. I'm very strange like that. I love that style. For one thing, I'm one of the only people who thought Cloverfield was actually a really good movie. So, again, that's my personal taste. I love that kind of style. And plus, mixed in with Haruhi and the humor of Haruhi, it was absolutely bloody hilarious. This is God Love Breath. There is no point to this particular entry, but I love pointless entries, don't you? It's like frolicking with God Love Breath through a field of flowers with Minorin by his side, and we're frolicking through the flowers, talking about why God Love Breath needs to continue writing his fan fiction, even though he keeps on putting it off. I have the entire structure like right here. It's like 6 pages worth of structuring and dialogue. I always write the dialogue in the structure first before I end up writing the actual story around it, the actual writing. So what ends up happening is that the dialogue is always a lot better than the actual writing, in my opinion. I'm beginning to think that I should just get into screenwriting if I'm going to pursue that sort of thing in general. But I like writing. It's kind of fun to do in my free time. I love role-playing too, which is RPing on the internet is an absolute blast, especially when you're doing it with people that you know. It is so much fun. I should probably go now.